Welcome to WNYathletics.com's High School Sportsline. I am Frank Wolf, hosting yet another show. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, and the news today out of Springville, they hired a brand new coach, Brian Kerr, who has been with the program for a number of years already, was approved by the Board of Education last night to become their next head football coach, and we're very excited for Brian. We're going to have him on as my guest today. You're going to hear from him, you're going to meet him, and understand where he's coming from and his philosophy, and giving some new hope, some new life into that Springville program. We do know they will not have a JV program last year. They're going to take a couple steps back, just a modified and a varsity. They bumped down to Class C, and they should have a little bit easier time down in C. They're right where they need to be as far as the competition is concerned. You know, Springville should not be playing teams like Maritime and Cheektowaga. They're just much larger schools, and this is just not a good fit for Springville. So they're moving down to C is exactly where they want to be, where they should be, and where they deserve to be. So hopefully they can start building that program up to what we know it can be and what it once was. What else we got going on today, folks? I don't really have a whole bunch more news. There was probably a couple of signings. I'll get to those in the next segment. We're going to hear from Coach Kerr right now after a word from our sponsor.
We didn't get here by accident. It starts with a plan to protect your future, to invest in your future. It started with Scroy Financial. Plan, protect, invest. Scroy.
My guest today is Brian Kerr from Springville. He is the brand new coach, named yesterday, approved by the Board of Education. Brian has been on the staff at Springville for how many years now, Brian?
I've been on the staff for 15 years, but they've actually been 2 5-year stints.
Okay. All right. I mean, it had to be an exciting day, at least last night, finding out that, you know, your the recommendation was approved by the board, and now the program is in your hands. And you brought along a number of staff members that carried over from last year as well, I believe.
Yep, we've got returning staff members coming back, and we've got 3 positions that we need to fill as well. So I've been hard on the phones trying to get some candidates for those as well.
Okay. It's going to be a challenge. You realize that. The program is not where it was. There's going to be a lot of work involved. I am also told that next year you will not have a JV team, but you're going to just go varsity and modified. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
That approved recently. It's definitely something that, you know, we hope is a short-term fix. And hopefully we can get back to a JV program as soon as the numbers are able to support it.
Okay.
It definitely helped us this year going to that modified A and the 10, 11, 12 program, because it's going to hopefully put the numbers up to around 50. Instead of being in low 20, you get a couple of injuries, and all of a sudden, you know, you're really struggling to fill positions on the field.
Right now, what is the biggest issue facing Springville? Is it numbers?
I believe numbers are a big part of it, yes. I mean, the more numbers you have, the more depth you can put out there on the football field. Our biggest issue in the last couple of years, honestly, has been you take an injury and all of a sudden you're moving 6 puzzle pieces around, you know, instead of just being able to dump one kid into a third position. So, you know, that's been a big problem, and I think confidence has been another big issue, obviously. When you're not winning, and your players don't have a lot of confidence in what they're doing, those things are usually tied in the hand.
Taking a little bit of a step back in terms of not having that JV, and you alluded to this, starting at the modified level, getting involved, getting the team more involved with the community, drawing players from those youth programs into your modified program, is that kind of the model for success you're hoping for?
Yeah, that's absolutely one of the things that I was hoping to focus on, was really trying to build that connection with the youth program, and then hope that carries up the modified program. We've got 2 coaches in place down there right now who are excellent teachers and excellent coaches. And we're hoping that, they can have some success down there, obviously, and that can build as they move up to us at the varsity level. So, but it's going to be a challenge for everybody because there's going to be differences in playing time for some of those kids. Freshmen who normally would be maybe not starting on the JV level are thrown into that role of getting more participation, whereas seventh graders who would always be playing time, at the modified level are going to be not getting as many reps during the games as well. So, it all comes from down there because, our district, as many others, is not growing. We're getting smaller and smaller. We're a C school now, so numbers are always going to be an issue for all of us. But I think it's something that can definitely help us in the short term, and then hopefully that fuels a long-term solution.
Playing down in C definitely isn't a death sentence at all. It's one of those things where you guys are right where you're supposed to be in terms of numbers and being able to compete every Saturday. You're right where you need to be right now in terms of class.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because even though we are technically in C, it's going to feel a lot like B.
Sure.
We've got Malden in our division. We've got Lackawanna in our division, who are B schools from last year, along with Eden. And then we also have our non-league rivalry game against Pioneer. So a majority of our schedule is still against teams that drop down from the B. So, but it definitely does help us out because being one of the smaller B schools last year, you could definitely see a difference in the guidelines. Even having 5 or 6 less kids than some of the other teams makes a pretty significant difference.
Brian, for those that don't know you, tell us where you came from, schools you went to, where you've coached before, prior to. Just let us know who you are.
Sure. I'm a 2001 graduate of Springville, so they're my alma mater. So it's obviously, a big deal for me to get that job, and it's a job I've always wanted to have. As far as football coaching goes, I spent my first 5 years at college at Springville, working under Joe Marvin, and he was a head coach down there. And then I moved along to Akron, Lake Door, and Hamburg until I came back to Springville under Eric Yancey and then Rob Valeni and Mark Heichberger. So I've been there for those 2 coaches before being able to take over this year. And then I've been coaching track and field for the last 15 years as well. 14 of them have been at West Seneca West, where I'm the indoor coach and the girls outdoor head coach. So I've been there, for a significant portion of the time in that program as well.
How has coaching other sports prepared you for the as the full-time head coach for Springville now? And will you still coach those other teams?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I'm still running, the track program out there in West Seneca, and it definitely is a challenge. But one of the things, I'm not a teacher. I work other jobs and stuff, and that's not what my degree was in. So I'm used to being out of district coach, which is a pretty big challenge, obviously. But being able to run that track program out of West Seneca and being able, time commitment and also having a job that's flexible enough so that I can get out and, if I want to get done at noon because I have stuff to do with the administrative offices or I have to be at the school for a meeting or to touch base with some of the kids, I'm able to do that. So, being out of district coach just really helped to prepare me for that as well as Springville. Even though they're my home school, I'm still technically out of district. So,
how excited are you to be the next coach of Springville?
I'm very excited. I've loved working with the kids. Obviously, I have experience being there the last few years, but I know the kids that are in the program well. There's a good group of kids that are coming back. I know the administration well, a lot of teachers in the building. I've a student out there in the past, so I've made a bunch of meaningful relationships within the community, within the district, and it's an exciting time. The one thing I said, during the interview process was I spent the last 15 years of my life really trying to help other people employ their visions and do my very best to help them out. And, I was excited for the opportunity to get the chance to put my vision for Springville.
Obviously you didn't plan on taking over a football team during a pandemic where you can't really relate to players in terms of, you can't really coach the players the way you want to right now. What's been going on since the end of last season to now to prepare Springville for this 2020 campaign? And how have you been involved?
So basically, when everything came down in March, we were scheduled to be at the 7-on-7 at Pro Fieldhouse there, and that obviously got canceled. So that's really the last contact I had with a lot of the players outside of holding some Zoom meetings and stuff with some of the leaders and some of the captains just touching base with them. There's been a lot of behind-the-scenes things going on, trying to get playbooks ready, trying to communicate with the coaching staff, work on inventory. What are we looking at for the upcoming season? When are we going to be able to meet with the kids? Because that's really the thing that's going to set us behind the most is not being able to do stuff over the summer for at least a portion of it. Hopefully not all of it. Hopefully things trend in the right direction. But, we're going to be installing new stuff offensively. So being able to get together with the kids and do those drills and get into the weight room are huge things over the summer that we can take advantage of. So I'm trying to get on Huddle, talk to the kids, send out emails, create PowerPoint presentations, give them workouts they can do on their own, at home, just showing up at the track, doing them out by themselves. And then I've been watching a lot of e-clinics, and believe it or not, I'm a pro, I think now, of Google screencasting. So I've been basically, taking clips from those clinics, drills, and good ideas that I believe in, and then transferring those videos over to Huddle for the kids to take a look at. Because one of the biggest issues I see when it comes time for the fall is with a new offense in place, and the defense at least isn't going to have a ton of changes because I ran the defense last year. But if you set up a drill with your kids on day one, and let's say you want 3 minutes for it, well, normally you'd be able to hop right into it if that drill was introduced over the summer, and maybe only talk about it for a minute, get some key words and stuff, and move forward. Yeah. If that's not the case, you're going to spend 5 minutes of that time explaining the drill, setting it up. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. This is the footwork and the technique we're looking for. And then suffer from a rep standpoint once we get out there. So that's really the biggest worry and challenge that I think is going to face a lot of the coaches is just, getting that time in and getting those reps in with the kids prior to August 24th.
What is the identity of your team at this point in time, and what are the strengths in terms of players coming back? I thought I saw a sophomore quarterback on there. Where is the program right now in terms of their identity, and how do you want to approach this fall season? Like, what will be your message to these guys?
I think the message to these guys is that this group of seniors and juniors has had success at the JV level. It might not be 8-0 success, but they have won games when they were down there. They haven't won games at the varsity level, but they do know how to win football games. They've won some close games in the past, some tough games against divisional competitors that we still play against. So I think trying to lean on some of the experiences they've had, even if it wasn't at the JV level, is going to try to help them a little bit as we take the field. That, and I thought, even though we didn't win a game last year at the varsity level, we were definitely building something. There's a ton of returning starters that we have. I want to say we got 9 returning starters on the defensive side of the ball and 7 or 8 on the offensive side of the ball. So that group of kids is really ready to rock and roll. We've got a solid offensive line, with some bigger kids than we typically have had in the past. So I think that size is going to help us, and they're not slugs. They're mobile kids who are going to be able to really employ what we want to do in a running game. And then, from a passing standpoint, we've got a lot of athletes coming back. I mean, we're not the fastest team, and we've never been the fastest team, but, we can create opportunities to get plays with the kids that we have coming back. And then hopefully, using some of those sophomores that we're going to now be getting who would normally be starting at JV is going to help us out from that depth standpoint, and hopefully some of those kids can come in and fill those spots to help us out there. As far as a defensive team, we really tried to simplify things last year, and because we had a lot of multiple looks the last few years, and trying to at least keep that side of the ball consistent, and then being able to build upon that so that we can blitz a little bit more, disguise things a little bit more, and really progress that because the kids have experience of the system at the first season. It's going to help us out on week 1, if there is a week 1, hopefully.
Yeah. I was going up and down the roster last year to see what you may have in terms of who's coming back. You got a nice big tight end linebacker there, Eric Pruitt at 6'3", 230. That's got to be a nice commodity to have. And then I see the name Baker, 28. Is that a relation to Ian Baker, this young Cole Baker?
Yes, Cole Baker's Ian Baker's younger brother, and we actually, their father, John, is on our coaching staff as well. He was at the modified staff last year, and he's going to be up on the varsity staff this year.
I thought I saw his name in the board minutes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're excited to have John back with us. He definitely helped out our modified program last year because he was a career youth coach within Springville, and that definitely helped bump those numbers up at that age group. And he's definitely got a lot of passion for the sport, and I think he's really going to help us out on the varsity level. And Cole's a very good athlete, and a tough kid, a tough runner. He's not a big kid. We don't have big kids at the skill positions that we can trot out there for the most part, but he's a tough runner. Needs to improve his tackling a little bit. He'd be the first to own up to that if you ask him, but he's definitely going to be a solid contributor for us. And, Eric Pruitt was our, if he had been healthy, he would have been our leading tackler last year defensively, and he's probably got the best hands on our team. I mean, any ball that is thrown within his catch radius, he's hauling in and making a play for us out there. So he's definitely something that, we're going to lean on both sides of the football for us to be very versatile and to try to captain that defense.
Who are some of the other guys right now on your team that we should know about or should be hearing about this coming fall?
Our tailback, A.J. Slibby, is a very good runner. He's good in between the tackles, even though he's a smaller kid. He's got good hands out of the backfield, and we're looking to use him as a multiple weapon out there. Alex Elkins is a senior for us. He was our leading tackler at strong safety last year. Led the team by about 20-plus tackles, actually more than anybody else. So he has the ability to play down inside the box as a linebacker, to be able to cover the field and the athleticism to play as a safety for us. And also he's a hard-nosed kid that we can get the ball to on the ground or in the passing game as well. On the line, Zach Chabot is just an overall great kid. He's about the most involved kid I've seen within the building at Springville. He's the lead role in the play. He's a scholar athlete. He's a starting center last year as a sophomore he was, and he's returning. So those are some of the core pieces. You noticed our sophomore quarterback last year, Tom Orndorff. He wasn't the starter coming into the season, but he got some valuable reps there once Nick Emick went down for us. And hopefully those reps at that game speed and at that level, which he may not have been quite ready for last year, he's definitely going to be ready to take the reins this year for us. So, those are some key things from their returning that are going to help us out. And like I said, we've got a lot of kids that are returning into our program that I expect to lean on and hopefully have some success this year.
Well, Brian, I really appreciate you taking some time to introduce yourself to us and the football community here in Western New York. Obviously, when Springville football is good and competitive, it just makes the entire community that stronger, football-wide. A lot of people love that rich history of Springville football. We're hoping that you could lead us back to that and see some really good games, and who knows, maybe we'll see you at the stadium before you know it.
That's always been a goal for us, and we really hope that we're going to bring Springville back to where it needs to be, because not just for the football community, but it's going to fuel all the other sports within the district as well, and that's what we really hope for. So
are you guys,
appreciate the time.
one last question, are you guys combining next year with another school?
No, to the best of our knowledge, we aren't. We attempted to do so with West Valley last year. We only ended up getting one individual on our modified program. It really, if we combined with them again this year, it would have kept us up into the B, which competitively would have been very difficult for us. There are a number of factors that went into the fact that we're not combining with anybody, but in the end, I think, like you said, to open our conversation, we're exactly where we need to be in South.
Excellent.
WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
Welcome back to High School Sportsline. And that was Brian Cater, the brand new coach for Springville, whom you just met and heard from. Wishing him all the best. up there, or down there in Springville, I should say. We're pulling for you, man. We're pulling for you guys in that program down there. It's got a rich tradition, a lot of history down there. Harry Scott, Buffalo News, played there. He's in their Hall of Fame, the Pee Wee Hall of Fame down there. So really want to see that program turned around for guys like Ian Baker and Harry Skull and all those guys that came through and are very, very proud of Springville. Anna Frericks committing to Houghton to play softball next year. Congratulations to the Wilson 2020 graduate. Very proud of you. Tomorrow's show, we're still waiting. I may do an interactive one. I may start it a little early and take some questions and things of that nature, and then edit it and throw it out there on the Facebook Live like you're watching now at 8 p.m. every Friday night. Thank you very much. Want to thank Scoria Financial, Plan, Protect, Invest, UBMD Orthopedics. Thank you for all you guys do. And G&G Fitness Equipment. Get in there, see my man Anthony Ruffalo or Dan Gronkowski, and get that treadmill you've been putting off for the last few months, that bike. Am I talking to myself? Anyways, thank you very much for watching High School Sportsline tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy.